heightened level of awareness, centering yourself, okay? Controlling your nervous system, to control trigger response, okay? So when someone triggers you, that is a good thing, that is a gift. That shows
your
you
poop face.
That's it.
You should take a pause, take some breath.
Pause.
Call me a poop face.
Don't he call me a poop face? I want
How do I feel about
to, because then I get like all these things running through my head, and the first one is always punch him in the fucking face.
There you go.
The
Make sure
second-
you exhale when you punch them.
The second is like yell and scream.
Yeah.
Then I immediately downshift to that's not good. Let's turn that inside and beat myself up. I am a poop face.
So
you see what I'm saying?
This whole process of just dealing
Yes.
with this reaction, right?
But none of that is right.
But because you're in the pause, you can see that happening. If you just went, I have my
Because
nose
there's so many
broken.
people on those levels of they just immediately punch you in the face,
Yeah.
or they just immediately start yelling,
Yeah.
or they immediately start beating themselves up
Yeah.
and repressing things.
Yeah.
But now we can zoom out and we can take 10 deep breaths and be like, wait a second. If something is true, it's always true. So am I always a poop face? No, I am always not a poop face. Therefore, that is not true. Okay? If something is true, it's always true.
Do you think there's anybody out there who is always a poop face?
Yeah, there's poop faces out there, but it's not you, bud.
Thanks,
It's not
man.
you. All right? So I am not always a poop face, therefore I am not a poop face. So it is up to me to take personal responsibility for my thoughts, feelings, and actions. So what they said is their karma. How I react is my karma. So I'm going to take 10 deep breaths, realize I am not a poop face. It does not serve me to A, punch them in the face, B, yell at them, C, beat myself up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit with that emotion. Then I can find empathy and compassion of why did they call me a poop face in the first place? Maybe they're having a bad day. Somebody pooped on their face.
And you can be like, hey, John, are you feeling okay, man? And I'd be like, no, I feel like a poop face.
And then you just help somebody else. So not only did you not punch them in the face or beat yourself up, but you said, hey, man, is something going on that we need to talk
So
about?
if two
You
people
doing all right?
getting damaged, then we have both people getting healed. Right?
Healed. Two poops don't make a right. That's what they always say. The Bridge Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Nixon.
Jonathan Matthew, how you feeling today, Adam?
I'm feeling phenomenal, dude.
You know what I found out today? I was just talking to you before, but isn't it like Tanya Harding tried to kill, what is it, caring for your name?
I don't even know if she was going for kill, but
No,
she was going for the win.
Saboteur on my birthday, the day I was born, like the very, very day. Like
Interesting.
January 6th,
At first, I
94.
thought you were saying like the anniversary of it, but then you were like, no, the
Like,
day.
No, like January 6th, 1994. Like I was being popped out of somewhere, and then someone was being,
All kinds of popping. But here's the thing: why would you even want that win? Like I understand cheating as far as supplements, drugs, doing whatever to win,
to make myself better.
At all costs.
But to just like,
but to take out the competition and then whee.
that's like remember you ever used to watch Speed Racer?
No,
Oh, the old cartoon from like the 60s?
no.
Or like,
I know of it, but no, I never watched it.
well, like they'd be they're racing fucking cars, but then you have like the bad guy like throw some tax or
Yeah.
some shit like that, and it's like, oh well, you didn't even win the race, bro. You're just kind of like, I don't want to win
That's
like
the
that.
thing.
I want to
Fucking-
win. That's like Drago versus Rocky. He was like, I don't want your fucking bullshit. I want to
Yeah.
win this for me.
Yes.
For me, I do this for me, right?
That's it.
Even
That's
though
all you can
even
do.
though he did take steroids, and even though Rocky was taking
Well,
steroids,
dude, that's the funniest part. Is they have Rocky drinking eggs and fucking running in the snow with the wood on his.
whereas
back
the
and
Russian
shit.
guy has all the high tech equipment, where it's the other way around. Like America, we got the high tech shit. Some guy in Russia is running up a mountain.
Hilarious.
Ask Khabib and Dvalishvili. Well, he's from Georgia, but
Hilarious. So we're back
Breath.
with breath work.
Part
We've
trois.
given you the part deux.
dude,
Okay, so this is 201. We'll give you the overview, the 101 shit, the hows and whatsies. Now we're going a little bit deeper. Maybe not the top of the mountaintop, because shamanistic practices and super duper holotropic breathing will get
that's
you.
high elevation. It's a little bit breathing up there, right?
They will get you to the top of the mountain, literally and figuratively. But today we're just going to go a little bit deeper with techniques, because here's the thing with breath work. It is conscious awareness of your breathing with intent to be an alchemist and to change your body's chemistry. all the bodily functions that they tell you in school you cannot control, you actually can control. Surprise, surprise, motherfucker. They lied to you in school once again. Your nervous system, whether it be a sympathetic or parasympathetic, your blood pH, your oxygen to CO2 levels, your entire mood, your entire spiritual connection to the universe can all be controlled with your breath.
Sus breath.
Heart rate, blood pressure, pH levels.
Upset stomach, diarrhea. Oh, wait, it's Pepto-Bismol. Sorry.
Dude, you can change it all.
You can change
with
your
your breath.
You don't need Pepto. I'm just eating breath, bro.
There's no,
Whoa,
this is free medicine.
No Pepto, breath, bro.
Pepto-Bismol.
Breath, bro, Bismol.
All right? That's what we're working with here. Free medicine.
Alchemy. I like how you said alchemy, though. Right?
It's true. Break it down. Give us a definition of alchemy.
So
people
alchemy,
understand.
I mean, the old school, we're talking about like Hermetic alchemists were trying to find the Philosopher's Stone. We're trying to create the Philosopher's Stone, magical stone that could turn anything into gold, any element into gold, right? So they were breaking down like lead, iron, copper, and trying to mix it all together in some sort of way that could create gold. So that was the magical elixir right there. So essentially it was a precursor to chemistry, but it's breaking down everything to its base units. So breaking down a metal to its base units, to like the elements, and then reconstructing it into something else. So taking something, deconstruct it, reconstruct.
Boom. So since everything is energy, we don't have to manipulate the elements per se, but we can. Thoughts are energy. Emotion is energy. All these things are energy that we can transmute into seemingly negative energy that is just heavy frequencies that we can transmute and alchemize into positive, productive, passionate energies so we can live better.
Because breaking it down to its base unit, it's just energy, right?
That's it.
So the negative, positive gets
right. That's what I was gonna
removed,
say.
right?
Shit is
Distilled,
just. I usually
sieved out.
like to say like challenging or heavy. Like I don't even say the word negative,
Negative, positive,
because that's your perspective.
Yeah.
Energy is energy.
Yeah.
That's it. If you want to make it negative, because one man's negative is another man's motivation and positive.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
for sure.
And that's what I'm saying when I'm saying alchemy.
Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. Whatever situation you give me, I'm like, oh, so you know what's funny too that I just thought of? Lightning hit my brain once again. You know how I'm always saying the top level quantum scientists, the spiritual gurus, religion, all these things are all saying the same at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know who is as well? The fucking the guy from SEALFIT, Mark Devine, fucking Jocko Willink, David Goggins. These are the top physical performers in the Navy SEALs and the Marines. And they're saying the same exact thing.
Same
meditation, breath work, we're all in this together. Only good things happen. Manifest with your thoughts. Like, you know the video of Jocko where they come to him with a problem? And he's like, good. You ever seen that video?
No, I didn't see that video.
Bro.
No, I
Greatest
gotta
video
watch
of all
it.
time. Bro, I'm going to post this shit. They come to him with a problem every time. His like assistant and shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, boss, this happened. He goes, good. He goes, only good things happen. And the guy's like, what are you talking about? And he comes to him, this didn't work. He goes, good, more time to train.
Yeah.
More time to get back. He goes, divine timing always works.
Part of the journey.
Part of
If
the
you
journey.
accept
He
this
goes,
part of the journey, then you're not then it's not an obstacle anymore. It's just
That's
the
it.
way, right?
Only good things happen.
It's like, this is what's next.
And
Okay,
it's
let's do it.
perspective shift.
Yeah.
Mindset. Train your mind. And this is what we're doing.
Breath.
Training our mind through the nervous system, which is the bridge from the mind to the body. Okay? So that's how we're going to control our body. Because before we get into up-regulation and down-regulation of the nervous system, breathing is important for everything. We talk real quick, maybe singing and sex and all these things throughout the day, but yoga, you're going to need some breathing.
Yeah, the whole point of what differentiates yoga from just like a stretching class is pairing the breath with movement, right?
Boom.
There's a specific inhalation for a pose. There's a specific exhalation for a movement.
Lifting weights.
Makes
There's
sense.
a specific time to inhale and exhale. There's a concentric and an eccentric portion of every lifting movement.
Yeah.
There's certain times where you want to inhale, hold.
There's different techniques within that too, right?
Within that, just like breath work.
Yeah.
This is like a moving breath work. And times to exhale. Okay? Same exact thing. Same thing when you're running. Be it a sprint, where you're a little huffing and puffing a little more, or a long distance marathon where you're controlling your breathing. This is imperative. Mindset starts with the breathing. All right. So same thing with mindset and breathing. If you're doing a cold shower or a cold plunge or an ice bath, when you're hyperventilating and you're thinking all a bunch of negative thoughts, that's not going to help. But if you slow your breathing and regulate it, you are now in control. Sports.
Yeah,
You're
man.
exhaling on a throw,
On a punch.
free throw, specifically
Yeah,
a punch and a
punch.
kick.
Yeah.
Big time. Okay. Everybody has different hip and shoulder techniques and mechanics, but the breathing is always same.
Same.
Very important, okay? Swimming. Have you ever swam before? Are you holding your breath the whole time? No.
Gonna
There's
have a bad time.
You're going to have a bad time if you're not breathing, okay? So now that's on a physical level. So to get down into a mental level, before we get into emotional and spiritual stuff, because we're getting a little 201, a little deeper and deeper today, is there's techniques that you can upregulate the nervous system. So what does that mean? Get you a little bit more fighty and flighty, get you a little bit more snappy, and get you juiced up. So once again, before a fight, for sure.
Yeah.
And a lot of times your body's already doing these things.
Yeah.
So what we're saying by breath work is to become aware and conscious of it and be in control of it.
Yeah, breath regulation. Pranayama means regulation of breath, right? So the breath's happening no matter what. But now, is it helping us, right? Because you can be out of control breathing before a fight, or you can be in control of your breathing. One's going to hurt, one's going to help, right?
So, like a Wim Hof breathing technique, we mentioned it before. Hyper inhaling to hyper oxygenate the blood, letting the exhale just kind of fall to get more oxygen in the blood. This type of heavy breathing technique can be used before lifting some heavy weights.
It does work.
It works 100%.
Speaking from experience, just today.
Exactly. Well, there you go. See, we're not just fucking talking about shit.
Yeah, just try it yourself too if you don't
Try
believe
it
it.
yourself. That's the thing. We're not selling you anything, and we're not telling you any dogma.
Yeah.
We're giving you our personal experience, which matches up with ancient wisdom and modern science and our N=1 personal experience.
Yeah.
Let alone, not only N=1, but hundreds and hundreds of people that we've trained.
Yeah.
Sports, yoga, lifting weights, bodybuilding,
nutrition,
techniques,
whatever.
Nutrition,
sleeping.
and now, emotional and spiritual practices as well. So like a Wim Hof or any type of
Deep,
more
heavy
inhales
than
right,
exhale.
than exhale is going to fire you up a little bit more. Okay, so that would be right before like some heavy lifting. There is, like we said, inhale, hold, and exhale techniques during the lift, but you definitely want to hyperoxygenate with a little bit of heavy inhales beforehand. Okay, but then there's also down regulation of the nervous system, which is super important for, like we said, pre-meditation, pre-sleep. Okay, that would be more exhale.
Longer exhale.
Longer exhale. So I'm thinking of everything on ratios. And then there's different, like we said, holds at the top, holds at the bottom. We spoke briefly on my favorite one to downregulate the nervous system. Well, but the most basic, let's talk about box breathing first. So we mentioned before, 4 to 6 seconds. So we start at 4, so there's room to progress.
Yeah.
Inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4 at the end, and repeat it. Let's call it 4 rounds. Okay. So that is, you're making a box of inhale, hold, exhale, hold, right, and repeat. This is going to downregulate your nervous system and get you to sleepy time real quick. Okay.
Yeah, because your body. Think about the moments when you are relaxed. You're not breathing heavily, right? So if you are unconscious of your breath and it's like 8 o'clock at night, but you're just thinking about something that's making you anxious, and whether you even know it or not, or unconscious, you're starting to breathe up into the chest, a little more shallow, a little bit more rapid, and now you're wondering why you can't go to sleep. Right? Well, then your breath just told your body that you're in a stressful situation. You can't be going to sleep now, right?
So you're saying do some deep belly breathing through your nose.
That's what I'm saying.
Not pill popping, scrolling, and porn hubbing.
I mean, you can do all those things too, but
we've tried them all. But breath work
might get addicted.
It's better.
It might be bad for your body.
That's the thing.
And your mind, right? And your emotions, and your spirit. So, or just breathe, which is freer in every sense of the word.
Free
mentally,
air.
physically. Ooh.
Free air. I like that shit.
Free air. I think it's a French word.
I was going to say, is that like some bottled, sparkly, spicy water?
Yeah. Free, like Perrier water? Like Perrier water?
The water is spicy.
Well, dude, in the future, man, they're going to start trying to monetize water and air before you know it. So
this is the future.
We got to make free air.
Bro, they're monetizing. Bro, they've poisoned the water and sold you bottled water.
Magical bottled water.
And they're telling you need to inject experimental poison to take your fucking mask off to get air. So they've already monetized the water in the air. Take your freedoms back. You're a sovereign being. Do what you want. Breathe. Just don't hurt somebody else. Breathe. Okay? So where are we at? Box breathing. So I also like 4, 7, 8. That's a 4-second inhale, a 7-second hold, and an 8-second exhale. I don't know where they came up with the 7, but I will tell you that the exhale is double the amount of the inhale. Therefore, that's going to pump the brakes and downshift you into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest, getting you out of fight or flight, centering you, calming and clearing your mind, and most importantly, slowing heart rate, lowering blood pressure.
And the thing too with like any kind of with breath work in general, of a practice of like a timed inhale or timed hold or timed exhale,
Gives you something to think about.
it immediately pulls you into the present moment. So if you are anxious, right, and you're going to go do some box breathing, well, now I have to focus on the count because there's a specific count. I have to focus on the hold because it's a specific hold, right? It's getting that singular focus onto one object, just in and of itself, whether or not you're even like doing the breath correctly or not, a full or inhale, just zooming in on that just takes that whole...
So if somebody's about to have an anxiety attack or a temper tantrum, it's better than saying, calm down.
Yeah, oh, thanks.
Yelling
I tried
at
that.
people. You know, just think happy thoughts and calm down,
Just
buddy.
stop being that.
Just stop doing
stop
that.
it.
You motherfucker. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
Or you
You're a
could say,
goddamn genius.
center yourself, focus on your breathing, longer exhales. Okay? That's how you save lives. And the only life you could really save is your own.
Yeah, and if you're anxious and you're doubting it, just try it, because your brain, again, even if your mind's off all haywire, your body's, the physical signals of your nervous system will pick up on the fact that you have a longer exhale.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, he's got a longer exhale. He must be relaxed.
Relaxed.
He must be relaxed.
Because think about it, do you have more inhale than exhale when you're running?
Yeah.
Because you need more oxygen.
Makes sense.
Make some sense here, guys. So try this out for your own. 4, 7, 8. It's beautiful. So now maybe let's get into like some shamanistic breathing where we're getting high for free.
You want to get high?
You want to get high? High for free. All right?
free?
With no side effects other than beautiful.
That'd be hilarious
stuff.
if it was like Schedule 1, heroin, DMT, breath work.
It is.
Like, yeah.
But it is. That's
But
why
it
they don't
is.
tell you about it in
Yeah.
school. It's not necessarily they don't. I mean, once again, they told everybody to wear a mask, and they didn't tell you about breath work in school. To me, that's a little.
They're
fucked
worried
up.
about kids huffing, glue and whiteout, but
Not free oxygen. And this is the thing. So, holotropic breathing. Okay, and there's many different techniques with this, but basically, it is a shamanistic breathwork practice to increase not only oxygen levels, but DMT or dimethyltryptamine in the brain.
yeah.
Okay, specifically the pineal gland. It's in all cells of the body. The liver and the lungs produce it, but the pineal gland secretes it. Helps with visions during, like we said, shamanistic journeys, dream state even
Yeah,
has
it's
to
a
do
big
with
one.
dimethyltryptamine and all kinds of stuff. Okay, what else do we got? Oh,
Yeah, with holotropic breathing, just to touch on that,
Yeah.
that's and to just what we just talked about. So created by Stanislav Grof, right, at around
Stan
the
Grof.
60s, 70s, who's also connected to Abraham Maslow, who's got the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay.
Surprise.
But he was a proponent of LSD for therapeutic use. So he was actually someone not doing it for like to go to concerts and like fuck around. He was like, this could actually help people heal unconscious
And he was.
shit.
It was legal when he was doing it.
Yeah, and he was a trained psychoanalyst. And
Not that it matters that it's legal, but point being is it's coming back
Exactly.
because of the studies and the work that he's done,
Yeah.
among others.
when it got banned or became illegal, he developed this breathwork method
Yeah.
that mimicked or could get you into that state that LSD got you to, right? Because the LSD or whatever the substance is, or whatever the breath is just stimulating something that's happening in here. It's not the object itself that's magical. It's what it does to your brain that gives you the opportunity to experience.
Like how they say, like, oh, you only use 10% of your brain or whatever. You're using your whole brain, but
Yeah.
not all different lobes and parts of the brain are connected and communicating.
Exactly.
properly.
You have like older parts of your reptilian brain. You have
Yeah.
newer parts. Some parts that never ever interact with each other, not even aware of each other to exist. When you see like the brain map or like someone on psychedelics or like a Buddhist monk doing breathwork and meditation, that's just lit up.
Lit up, baby.
Stuff is activated and stuff is also communicating with each other. That's where you get to see higher perspectives, is communication, right?
Whoa.
Because like if you're on that side of the door and I'm on this side of the door, the only way I have any idea of what that side of the room looks like is if I communicate with you, right?
Whoa.
And once I do that, I'm like, oh shit, you mean there's a coffee machine outside there? What?
So that's how you light up the brain.
Yeah.
It's lit. So whether you're doing mushrooms, ayahuasca, DMT, LSD, whatever, or if that's not all for you, that's fine. If you're not ready, or if you don't want to, or there's no setting and
Appropriate,
timing of
yeah.
it, that's fine. Everybody can use the breath work to get there, and it makes different parts of the brain light up and communicate better. And then everybody is winning. Okay, I've done 11, 16, 21, where it's 11 full deep inhales, full deep exhales, and at 11 you hold the breath
Yeah.
for 11 seconds, and you try to pump your pelvic floor muscles, to wag the tail that is the
Tailbone,
sacrum.
little sacrum action.
Yeah, to shoot up that Kundalini energy from the base of the spine, up the spine itself, throughout, lighting up each of the chakra points, exploding the third eye, which is the pineal gland, and connecting yourself through the crown chakra, through the Ka, which is kind of the 8th chakra, about 12 to 18 inches above your head, to the rest of the universe.
Halo, halo, halo.
Why do you think that? Do you think it's a coincidence that all the angels were kind of translucent, see-through, and they had a halo 12 to 18 inches above their head? Coincidences everywhere.
Well,
guys.
it's because we think of, everyone thinks now like a halo is like just like a little ring, but it used to be in the image, a circle, just like a circle,
Almost like a mushroom cap.
almost like a wheel, like
Or
a chakra wheel.
Whoa,
Say
coincidences
what?
everywhere. So then, so you get to 11 and you hold, then you do 16 and hold, you get to 21 and you hold. And then you are high as shit. And I mean that in a good way, meaning now your nervous system is calmed down. Now your mind is centered. Your whole gland system is lit up. Your blood pH is balanced. Your oxygen to CO2 ratios are on point. Only good things happen here.
Yeah, and I like that. And breath work, again, like you could never touch a psychedelic ever in your life. And to get all this through meditation and breath work.
Yep.
But the good thing about, or the nice thing about breath work and meditation, but breath work specifically, is that, if I pop, LSD or a mushroom or DMT, like that shit's taking me for a ride, right? But if the breath work, I'm doing the work and building up there. So if that scares you, which it does scare a lot of people, that like rocket ship kind of feeling, which I'm the kind of guy who's gonna jump out of a plane. Like I like high up roller coasters and shit like that, so I'm not okay with that. But
nothing to be afraid of.
nothing to be afraid of. But breathwork, you can actually feel it going up. So when you get to that state, like, oh, I've stepped these steps through each breath to get here, so it doesn't feel like you're out of control. Like when you said like you're really, really high, it's like, I got here though. Like it's not like
you worked for it.
I'm out of control.
Yep, it's not an exogenous substance.
Yeah, it's not anxious. Like, oh my god, how this happens? Like, oh, I did this.
You're working
I'm doing
for
it. I'm doing
consciously
it.
and actively with endogenous chemicals, hormones, and neurotransmitters within your body.
Everybody's holding, man.
Everybody is holding. Your body's a pharmacy. You are a drug dealer, and you're an alchemist. Those are facts. You can Google it. What do we got next? Let's touch on circular breathing, right? So circular breathing is
really
fun
cool
stuff. If you've ever sang before, played a woodwind instrument, some brass instruments, you know that you're breathing in through your nose with your diaphragm and exhaling or playing or singing with your mouth at the same damn time. You ever seen anybody play the didgeridoo? You're constantly circularly breathing, okay? Everybody, how the fuck is Mick Jagger still singing perfect, been smoking cigarettes for 60 years? Because he's not singing with his throat.
Yeah, everyone sings from up here. It's from the diaphragm,
He's singing
bro.
from his
diaphragm,
okay? And so circular breathing is just a good practice to get in through the nose with the diaphragm, out through the mouth. I mean, this is just like, blowjob training.
There you go.
For the folks, for the ladies and gentlemen out there that are going to have their mouth full for 15, 20 minutes, you're going to need to circular breathe through your nose to survive out here. Okay? You're going to be drooling all over the place.
That's important.
It's important stuff. Kumbhaka breath, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so Kumbhaka breath, that's breath retention, right? And so it's a form of pranayama. But Kumbhaka can be breath retention at the top on the inhale, on the exhale, or it can actually, Kabbalah Kumbhaka is really just the suspension of inhale or exhale entirely, which usually happens after, some intense practice of breath work. But that type of breath work is most associated with the state of samadhi or enlightenment, right? That suspension, because there's dharana, which is singular focus. You get to dhyana, which is absorption into kind of bliss, the higher self, and samadhi, which is just like union.
Oneness.
So we think of the inhale and the exhale. That's like already a duality, right? So in and out, in and out. When we kind of bridge those gaps and just be at stillness, at oneness, at a singular, no breath. And we were just talking before how we've gotten to that spot. Doing breath work. It happened to me, like, again, by accident. When I first started breathing, I would take like lots of deep inhales and lots of deep exhales and then holds. And then after a while, I would just like stop breathing.
Yes. And I get to that in like a deep meditative state, where there's just no breath. You wouldn't call it a hold. You wouldn't call it an inhale.
Yeah, I'm not pulling air in. I'm not holding air out. It just,
and then you get real still, mentally, physically, spiritually.
And you'll notice it because like, wow, I don't have the urge to breathe.
Nope, stillness, and you are straight. Still. Because what had happened is you just done a whole bunch of breath work to the blood has enough oxygen for now. and your body is safe. So there's nowhere to go. So you can just stay in stillness for quite some time. Feels really good. That's more of an advanced technique, but that's kind of where you're getting to without expectation.
Yeah, and you can just practice the retentions or the holds. So even like the 4, 7, 8, like that 7 is technically a Kumbhaka breath. That's that hold,
Yes.
right? So with Kumbhaka specifically, we're just focused on the hold versus like a count on the inhale and exhale. And that's we a lot of times think of inhales like hold your breath. People go, they inhale, right? But practicing holds on the exhale is a very, very different experience. For one, because you're engaging your diaphragm, which is very different. For people who are learning how to breathe, using your diaphragm, holding the exhale can actually be a really good strengthening technique for like the transverse
I love that.
abdominis.
And the awareness of it. I love that. So
Yeah.
that's where you're going to activate the diaphragm is on the exhale. A forced, hard exhale through pursed lips like you're blowing up a balloon.
Yeah. And that's also how you do, I'm blanking on the name here, but yogic technique for that second bandha, right?
Yes.
Where you pull in the belly button, you kind of have the hollow core, and people can do that kind of waves with their belly. That's all from breath retention and exhale hold.
Love it.
Doing that, yeah.
And that's, like you said, if you're lifting weights or doing anything, you teach it with the exhale first. To lock it down, baby.
Yeah, lock.
And here's a good way, no matter what technique you're using, 2 beginner on-ramp 101 strategies for any breath work. One would be there's apps and YouTube stuff where they guide you. Where I like guided meditation, but I don't love guided breath work personally on audio because I'm not always in sync with them. And then
Yeah.
you're overthinking. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, he said inhale, but he didn't say
Yeah.
exhale, whatever. Even though there is some good guided ones, and if you can get on the same rhythm, that's cool because it gives you something to focus on. But maybe better in person with a breathwork teacher because then you're working together and they're coaching you on the hard exhale, more, hold, and they do the count for you.
Yeah.
So you're just being coached, and now you're kind of out of your head with that.
Yeah, like holotropic breath work, it's usually in the group setting.
Yes.
You have a facilitator there, right? So that's...
So then you got coaching, you got safe set and setting, you got the collective vibration and
Of everybody.
consciousness of everybody in the room.
Lots of
when
antennas.
That's when
Lighten
shit
up.
gets real fun. But even so say you don't have any of that. Give us some visualization techniques as far as what you're thinking on the inhale, what you're thinking on the exhale, as far as maybe liquid energy coming in or different colors or symbols.
Yeah, for me, I first started playing around with visualization for breath when I just got into Kundalini meditation or just meditation in general. And the chakras have colors associated with them, which we'll get to a little
Coincidences
bit later.
everywhere.
But I would imagine pulling, at first, the very first thing I imagined was pulling kind of this like a white-ish kind of smoke in.
I
And
like
on the
smoke.
exhale would be, because it's visual air, right?
I was gonna say, you ever smoke a cigarette in a dark room? It doesn't feel like you did because you don't see the fucking exhale.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no fun
Or
to
take
it.
like a big hookah thing. And like
Yeah,
this
there's
plume
no
of smoke,
satisfaction.
like I can
but
see air.
You
Right?
see the hookah smoke.
Yeah, so it
Feels
just
good.
Yeah, it gives form to the air, which seems formless, right? So I'm pulling that in down at the very bottom. Then as I exhale, it comes like a black cloudish, darker smoke.
That might be the best cue I've ever heard. Pretend like you're smoking a hookah.
Yeah, that little plume of smoke. For one, it's just a cool thing to see it all
To
like
see
swirl,
in your
right?
mind's eye.
Yeah, and it was a very like nice visual.
Visualization technique.
So I used to do that, but then I started adding in the chakras and how do I tap, like how do you feel your chakra, right? So we'll just
Maybe we'll get
visualize it.
super deep on the chakra episode that we're going to do, but
Yeah.
run us through how to align your chakras, light them up, I usually
Yeah.
say.
So again, if you don't, it's like feel your rhomboid, and it's like, well, you have to kind of stimulate it to
Squeeze
feel
it,
it, right?
stimulate it.
So again, that's just what you're doing with your visualization. You're just kind of stimulating that spot,
Energy
right?
centers and glands.
Same way if you close your eyes, like focus on your pinky toe. I can now focus on that, right?
Okay, so it's bringing your awareness and your intention.
Exactly.
And
So I
where-
know where those spots are, right? So again, I pull in that smoke. This time it'd be a red kind of color smoke.
Okay.
And it would go into that wheel. And
So
that's
first
what,
we're talking root chakra is red.
yeah.
So where your intention goes, energy flows. Okay, so you're inhaling through the nose with a visualization of red smoke
Yeah.
to your pelvic floor.
And then as I exhale, it's almost like, because the chakra means wheel essentially, right? That smoke spins the wheel and the exhale flies back up. So I inhale, exhale, the wheel will start to spin and
Okay.
breathe back up.
I
And
love
go
this.
back. And it would do maybe a certain number of times, or sometimes I'll just go right to the next chakra, right? And
Well, let's
continue
stay on
down.
each one and work this
Yeah.
bitch
Okay.
up. So the fucking perineum.
Yeah.
Okay, so your pelvic floor, your taint, your grundle, your connection to the ground, to the
Grounding,
earth.
root,
Okay?
Muladhara.
Root.
Yeah.
Your roots to the ground.
Yeah.
That is associated with the color red for a whole bunch of reasons. We will get to that deeper. We're breathing in through the nose, filling up with your intention on your perineum, on your lowest chakra, right? Below the base of the spine. Okay? Then when it's full of this red air, you're picturing a wheel spinning. You change the color on the exhale? Or exhale's red as well?
Well, actually, it's usually that same white color because
Okay.
I breathed in that red energy.
Breathing in the
and
red
now I'm-
and exhaling smoke, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay? And your intention
Out the
and
top
your
of the head.
focus is on your perineum, essentially grundle, taint, pelvic floor, let's call it. All right? Second energy center. Now we're breathing in orange.
Orange sacral chakra, right? Just that little spot below the navel.
About an inch or two below the belly button, in
Thinking
alignment with
reproductive
your sacrum.
organs and that area, that creative energy is why that's there in that spot. A big one for Kundalini energy. So I'm pulling in orange energy now.
Orange. So this would be Elliot Holtz. Breathe into your balls.
Breathe into your balls,
which
you
is your
do.
gonads.
Yeah.
So that can be your ovaries or your nutsies. Okay, whatever you got, breathe the air into there.
Yeah.
Visualizing the color orange as you're sipping in the air.
I'm maintaining that color of red that lit up my legs, that spot.
Once it's lit, they
Yeah.
kind of stay lit.
Stay lit.
They're a nice little candle.
Yeah. So it's like a little rainbow. Or make it lighten up the
We
rainbow
are
road here.
literally lighting up a
Rainbow road.
rainbow. You think it's a coincidence that it's Roy G. Biff?
Of course not.
Red, orange, yellow,
green, light spectrum.
Come on, guys.
So Svadhisthana, that's that chakra right there, that sacral creative chakra. So once we get that,
So we got perineum, pelvic floor for the root. We got sacral, which is about an inch below the belly button, in orange as we're inhaling.
yeah,
Okay. Now we're up to maybe a solar plexus.
yeah,
In like a yellow color.
Manipur, yeah, yellow. And sometimes if I have a hard time like focusing on drawing that color down with that visualization of the smoke, I'll just think of something that's bright yellow. So I was thinking
Love it.
sunflower, just like
Doesn't
sunflower,
matter.
sunflower,
Beautiful.
sunflower, right?
Wow. So
Just make it as easy as
visualize,
possible.
make it easy as possible for yourself. Visualizing a sunflower spinning on your lower rib right in your solar plexus. Your last ribs. Solar plexus, pit of your gut, let's say. Right? And you're picturing a sunflower spinning and exhaling smoke.
I'm trying to think of that. That's like that old school toy where you kind of pull the strings and it makes that
Yeah.
the wheels kind of
And
pull
it spins.
and keeps spinning, right? So that's what I imagine. Like I'll breathe in as many times till I feel like I get to that spin.
Yes.
Like you keep spinning a top, and when you get that spin, now we go to the next one. Right?
Love that because they stay lit up, and if you do it right, you will feel it. It's kind of like a pulsation.
Yeah. So don't rush it.
When
In any of the Kundalini meditations I've had, I can only speak from my experience ever. It'll happen simultaneously and kind of naturally.
Oh, it's supposed to happen naturally.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna force it.
It'll just happen. So the forcing it is just activating, but the actual process of it just kind of happens.
It's fucking beautiful.
Outside of your control.
Now we're up to the human heart.
Anahata chakra, the green energy.
Green heart. Okay. So once again, we're inhaling through the nose, picturing the color green. And I kind of picture the heart blooming like a flower or opening up.
Yeah, opening. You can think heart.
But what do you got for green, though? Do you have something specific for the heart? Because I literally picture it opening.
That I say I just stick with that
And
wheel
blooming.
energy, right?
Cool.
But or that I'll use that same thing all the way at the top. And again, if I don't, for whatever reason, I have a hard time getting that wheel, I'll just think of something specifically green. I always go to just like breeze in the grass or the light.
Okay.
The light in the leaf.
Green grass, green smoke inhaling with your intention and your focus and your energy in your heart.
That center of the chest. So not your left side heart here.
No,
but
straight
the heart.
center. So that's a good point.
Right.
Right. Because we're really talking about the thymus and the heart chakra.
Yeah.
The heart muscle is slightly offset.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about. It all works together. It's an energy center.
Yep.
So then we're up to blue,
Vishuddha chakra.
the throat chakra.
Yeah. Has to do with communication.
So that is in the back of the center of your throat. We're inhaling into there.
Yeah.
And the throat and the heart really, the lower three work together.
Yeah.
The throat and the heart kind of work together. The heart and the third eye kind of work together. And The lower 3 are bridged to the upper 3 by the heart.
By the heart,
So if that makes sense, once you get the lower 3, they kind of stay lit. Then you work on the heart, and then eventually what you're doing is you're getting the heart to vibrate at the same frequency as the brain.
And a cool point with that as it relates to light, we have bottom 3, top 3 with violet, indigo, and blue, and the middle center, which is the heart, which bridges. In the human eye, green is we can see the most shades of the color green. For survival purposes, living in jungles, being able to just differentiate between what's moving in the leaves. But that's our most open spectrum of vision is that color green. If you ever look at the color spectrum, it's right.
That's why it's right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Everybody's bridging off of that.
Yeah.
So then we got blue, breathing in with your intentions to the back of your throat. Oh, dude, I can feel it just now. As soon as I close my eyes and put my intention on that chakra, dude, I'm fucking throbbing right here. Okay, so we're inhaling blue. The bottom ones are still lit. We're exhaling. Picturing a blue wheel spinning like a pinwheel. Now I just visioned with my eyes closed for 2 seconds, like a blue pinwheel that you're spinning with your air, with your breath.
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine there's a pinwheel in your throat, and with your inhale, that air is spinning the pinwheel.
Exactly.
That's pretty good shit.
It's pretty sweet.
Then we're moving up to, there's no real color purple. I love the color purple.
The color purple.
But it's all fucked up. It's all made up, I mean.
Yeah, the vision of the color purple,
So what we're talking about is indigo
next,
right? Or is violet first?
Indigo's next.
Indigo is next in your
like a
pineal
blue,
gland.
purple.
Right. Indigo is the color, your third eye chakra, center of your forehead, in the back of the brain, in the hippocampus, is the pineal gland. Okay? So you find that bad boy with your intentions, like let's say the back center of your brain.
Yeah.
Right between the eyes. And it's the color indigo.
Yeah. Ajna chakra.
And we're breathing into that with focus. And then that's where I start pairing that, where it starts throbbing in your forehead between your eyes, matching that frequency and that beat and that vibration with your heart. Then the last one is technically your pituitary gland, which is your crown chakra, which is just top center of the head, think dead center, plus shooting out to the universe. Okay, because there's also like a 12 chakra system that we'll get to down the road. Technically, it's really 8. There's 7 within the body, and 8 we spoke about is the Ka, the ancient Egyptians called it, which is like a foot to 12 inches.
Kind of hovering?
12 to 18 inches above the head, hovering as far as an energy center within your energy field. Your little halo action.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. So anyway, pituitary gland is, now we're on violet, so a little bit deeper purple.
It can be like, some people say violet and white or a mix of the two, right?
Good point.
Because it's kind of like that connection.
Because now it's just light. Because now we have the full rainbow and light.
Yeah, it's just a beam of light pop. That's what I imagine after that. It's a beam of light.
You ain't got to imagine it, because by now you've done it correct. You're feeling like a fucking Care Bear with green rainbow energy shooting out your chest and a beam of light connecting you to the universe at the top of your head. And if you think that sounds crazy, do some breath work and find out for yourself, because they don't teach you that in school.
Yeah, man.
And that is next level human being.
And again, I got into that at the very, very beginning of my spiritual path without even having read that much about chakras. I had an idea about them. And I just picked up this book about Kundalini meditation, just heard someone on the podcast mention, just started doing it. And again, I played around with holding the breath, and that happened. Played around with just chants I had heard. Again, with not any expectation or any dogma attached to it. And it wasn't really that long before...
No, with practice, it gets
real quick. Up there real quick.
Oh, real quick. So the more you practice, the easier you can center yourself, the easier you can clear your mind, and the easier you can light up and align the chakras.
Absolutely.
And then from there, there's different things as far as foods, thoughts, activities, mantras, chants that you can do to balance overactive or underactive chakras.
Yeah.
And just so you know, if you think this is fucking Hindu woo-woo hippie fucking nonsense bullshit, I'm talking about EEGs and EKGs that you can measure scientifically, hard science, measure the vibrational frequency of your heart, of your brain.
Yeah.
And your energy center that's approximately 6 feet.
Science is just measuring things, so now it's just finally being able to measure what people couldn't measure before.
Thanks for catching up, mate.
Yeah. We can verify. Now, that's all science is. We verify.
And it's repeatable with a tool and an instrument.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's been working for 300,000 years at least.
Yeah.
Depending on how far back you want to say that the aliens tampered with the DNA.
The Earth always revolved around the sun. It didn't start revolving around the sun once you believed it, right? Like it's been that way. Whether you still believe that or not, who knows?
Still spinning. So where are we at? So that's basically just getting into higher levels of consciousness and, more importantly, expanded levels of awareness. Say you don't even want to get into fucking trippy shit.
Yeah.
You do this just so your level of you have heightened awareness when you're done.
Spider senses, bro.
Spidey senses for real. So now your intuition is heightened.
Yeah.
Your emotions are calm and
Your,
centered.
your awareness of your thoughts.
Your awareness of your thoughts
awareness
is crispy.
of your reactions, too.
Your sight, your hearing, touch is more sensitive because you've aligned your not only glands, and your nervous system that you feel
your energy
things.
centers. Yeah.
That is why we're here as humans, to feel things.
Experience ourselves.
The experience. If you don't tap into your feelings, you're not having a human experience. And once again, there's no good and bad. There's just energy. So that is your work. The bad is good because that's your trigger. That's your gift
They go
to
together.
show you where the work is.
Yeah.
If everything was good all the time, you wouldn't get better.
Yeah, there's a bad to every good, which is addiction. There's a good to every bad, which is, trauma, right?
Yeah.
So that's what that is.
Addiction is just doing the same thing over and over again and not getting
Feels
the result
good.
that
It
you
feels
want.
good, but
temporarily,
right? So
but you're not
that's-
getting the result that you think you want.
Exactly, right? So that's that polarity of good and bad are really just part of the same coin.
Yep.
So you got to be just that heightened awareness allows you to notice, well, when is good becoming bad? When is bad becoming good? Because good can get bad real quick and bad can get good with the right amount of work, right?
That's it. With your intentions, your thoughts, your words, your beliefs, and the right work. So here's another thing. We already talked about, like if you're about to have a temper tantrum, an anxiety attack, a bout of depression, deep breaths. You've heard people say take 10 deep breaths before you react to something so you can respond properly. That's breath work. They were trying to teach you this shit in kindergarten, and you weren't listening. And then they told you a whole bunch of lies all through fucking middle school, high school, and college, and they told you it was all the knowledge in the world. And now you're here with us, so we're teaching you about the real human experience, okay? So not only are you lost me at chakras, whatever. Heightened level of awareness, centering yourself, okay? Controlling your nervous system. To control trigger response, okay? So when someone triggers you, that is a good thing. That is a gift. That shows
your
you.
poop face.
That's it.
You should take a pause, take some breath.
Pause.
Call me a poop face.
Don't he call me a poop face? I want
How do I
to,
feel about that?
because then I get like all these things running through my head, and the first one is always punch him in the fucking face.
There you go.
The
Make sure you
second-
exhale when you punch them.
The second is like yell and scream.
Yeah.
Then I immediately downshift to that's not good. Let's turn that inside and beat myself up. I am a poop face. You see what I'm saying?
This whole process of just dealing
Yes.
with this reaction, right?
But none of that is right.
But because you're in the pause, you can see that happening. If you just went, I have my
Because
nose
there's so many
broken.
people on those levels of they just immediately punch you in the face,
Yeah.
or they just immediately start yelling,
Yeah.
or they immediately start beating themselves up
Yeah.
and repressing things.
Yeah.
But now we can zoom out and we can take 10 deep breaths and be like, wait a second. If something is true, it's always true. So am I always a poop face? No, I am always not a poop face. Therefore, that is not true. Okay? If something is true, it's always true.
Do you think there's anybody out there who is always a poop face?
Yeah, there's poop faces out there, but it's not you, bud.
Thanks,
It's not
man.
you. All right? So I am not always a poop face, therefore I am not a poop face. So it is up to me to take personal responsibility for my thoughts, feelings, and actions. So what they said is their karma. How I react is my karma. So I'm going to take 10 deep breaths, realize I am not a poop face. It does not serve me to A, punch them in the face, B, yell at them, C, beat myself up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit with that emotion. Then I can find empathy and compassion of why did they call me a poop face in the first place? Maybe they're having a bad day. Somebody pooped on their face.
And you can be like, hey, John, are you feeling okay, man? And I'd be like, no, I feel like a poop face.
And then you just help somebody else. So not only did you not punch them in the face or beat yourself up, but you said, hey, man, is something going on that we need to talk
So
about?
if two
You
people
doing all right?
getting damaged, then we have both people getting healed. Right?
Healed. Two poops don't make it right. That's what they always say.
It's a bumper sticker. There
I'm
you
just
go.
saying. Okay, that's called healing in real time.
Yeah, and the breath work, what that does, it gives you a moment to two things, actually. Be in the present moment with your breath and detach from your breath. Because if you're observing your breath, you're detached from it, right? Because right now I'm breathing, but if I start to pause here and I focus on my breath, well, now I'm not my breath. You can do the
Yes.
same thing with your thoughts. Oh, now I'm not my reaction.
Because you were not in the present moment when you're having that visualization of you pounding him like
Yeah.
Goodfellas when he walks across the street.
Yeah.
Karen, what did he say to you? And he goes across to the neighbor and he pistol whips him. He's like, what are you going to do, tough guy? And fucking pistol whips the shit out of him.
That'll do
Don't
it.
you ever fucking talk to her fucking again, motherfucker. You're not in the present moment because you're visualizing Ray Liotta smashing someone in the
Exactly,
face.
yeah.
So you're not in the present moment. Same people that, I would never hurt someone else. But you would hurt yourself.
Self,
You would
right?
shit on yourself all the time. So you're not in the present moment when you're saying, I am a poop face. This is hard. I do this. She said this and he said that. Doesn't matter what they said.
Yeah.
That's on them. You cannot control outside circumstances. Phenomena and stimulus and triggers are always going to happen. It's up to you to alchemize that situation and spin yourself from the victim to the victor.
Yeah.
That is the work.
Detach yourself from those
Boom.
feelings.
How can I win in this situation? Things don't happen to me, they happen for me. I am not a victim. I am the victor. We're both going to win here.
Yeah, where's the growth in this for me?
Where's
the
the
growth
lesson
in this for them?
and
Yeah.
where's the growth? Yeah, eventually, but you get to
yourself
you
first,
first,
100%.
and then because hey,
Pull your
say,
own oxygen mask first.
right. So you start taking care of yourself, and you say, hey, you call me a poop face. I really don't think I'm a poop face. It's something going on with you.
Yeah.
If they say, go fuck yourself, whatever,
Yeah.
I'm having a bad day, and they don't want to talk about it,
That's fine.
that's fine. You leave, wipe
It's
your
not
hands
anybody's
clean.
job to force anybody how to feel, right?
That's it. But it is your responsibility to take care of your own feelings and your own breath. All right? Breathe through your nose. Love yourself. Love your neighbor. Everything is connected. Peace.
Deuces.